So, I'm not typically the one to sound the alarm, but I think it's quite clear what's going on here with BioWare. It's just a company that they're gone. I mean, I've said this before, I think I even said this with Anthem last year, but the company that people fell in love with, that made Dragon Age Origins, Mass Effect 1 and 2, Jade Empire, KOTOR, Baldur's Gate, they're no more. The heart and soul of this company has been ripped apart, and we're experiencing BioWare 2.0 now. And being what we've had the last couple of years with Mass Effect Andromeda and Anthem, and even you could say to an extent Dragon Age Inquisition, this is just not the same company, and the quality just isn't there anymore. You know, a lot of the time over the years you've heard critically acclaimed BioWare's working on this project, and nowadays it just doesn't do anything for me. Like, it was recently announced a number of weeks ago that they're starting work on the next Mass Effect game, and people are supposed to be extremely excited about that, but I just don't see any evidence to be excited. And now today we have some even more disappointing and troubling news with some huge departures all happening at once. So we go to the following statement, which is coming from Electronic Arts, a message from Laura Meal, Chief Studios Officer at EA. We strive for all of our studios to be places where talented creative people come to do career-defining work. And then here's the big announcement. Casey Hudson, General Manager of BioWare, and Mark Darrah, Executive Producer of Dragon Age, are two of those people, and they have decided to move on from BioWare. Remember that Mark Darrah was pretty much leading the charge on the next Dragon Age installment, after Mike Laidlaw left. Jesus, what is going on with this company? Her statement goes on, it says, "When I think about BioWare's future and the next generation of talent in place, I could not be more confident or optimistic. As we look to the studio's future and the projects currently under development, the next generation of BioWare talent is leading the studio forward and working on some incredible games that I know you will be excited to experience in the coming years." Now, we're going to go over a couple more statements coming from Mark Darrah and Casey Hudson, but there is a key theme. Just read between the lines, and you'll see that Electronic Arts and Casey Hudson and Mark Darrah are all trying to put a big emphasis on the future of BioWare, the next generation. It's not about us, it's about the future of this company. We're well positioned, and this is, I don't want to say it, well, I am going to say it is kind of like damage control. Because if these people really believed in the future of this company, they would not be retiring and leaving all of these franchises behind. This is a bad sign, no bueno. Anyway, the statement continues. Samantha Ryan, who came to Electronic Arts after leading Warner Brothers games, I believe she worked for Warner Brothers for like a good 15 or so years. She has marketing background, as far as I understand, nothing development, I think. Anyway, she is one of the strongest leaders in this industry. She will continue to oversee the studio. I'm also excited to announce Christian Daly, who joined BioWare from Blizzard, will be leading our Dragon Age project currently in development. Christian is a fantastic creative leader, and I look forward to you all getting to know him in the coming days. And then they also continue saying, we recently announced that Mass Effect the Legendary Edition and Mike Gamble is leading a team hard at work on that franchise's future. And then this is the most critical thing, the search for a new GM is underway, and we are already talking to some great people. I mean, let's just stop right there real fast. If BioWare, Casey Hudson, Mark Darrah, if they really cared about this, I don't think that they would be resigning suddenly and leaving EA in a pinch like this. That's just my take on the situation. And then EA says, we will find the right leader who has a deep love and respect for the studio's heritage, who embodies the values of the team, and who will help carry on the incredible legacy of BioWare. Now, I guess the best way to describe what's going on in BioWare is kind of like the development of Mass Effect Andromeda, in which you're just seeing all these pieces moving around, and when that just keeps on happening, nothing seems to flow good, and this is not a good sign. None of this is good. It looks terrible, and it really has me concerned about Dragon Age 4 and the next Mass Effect installment. I had some faith maybe they would be able to turn things around, but now I don't really think so. This is an unproven studio now. This is a company we have no idea what to expect. All we know is the last two games, which is Anthem, which was a huge dud, and then we have Mass Effect Andromeda, which wasn't terrible, but it just wasn't very good. It wasn't the quality that people had come to expect with this franchise. And that's what we've seen across the board, because the quality is just dipped and the veteran staff is gone, and it's so disappointing saying any of this stuff. Because you never want to see these companies that you fall in love with, the talent, and it just watching it crumble before your eyes. It's It's terrible. Also, for what it's worth, Christian Daly, the individual who joined BioWare from Blizzard, I guess a couple of years before, who's now leading the Dragon Age project as executive producer, he most recently worked on Anthem as one of the lead developers as franchise development director of Anthem's live service, in which they brought updates such as the first Cataclysm, Season of Skulls, Icetide, and the 1.7.0 update. That's the experience so far that we know of Christian on Anthem, and I don't know what to expect. Like I said, that's the biggest problem here. This is just an unproven cast of characters, to say. Now, we do have some further statements. We have Casey Hudson, the GM of BioWare. Remember, if you don't know Casey's history, Casey Hudson, he first left the studio in 2014 and then announced a new position at Microsoft in 2015, but he rejoined BioWare in 2017 when then general manager Aaron Flynn stepped down. So, for what it's worth, let's get to his statement. He says, "I'm incredibly fortunate to have had a career where I've been able to work with brilliantly talented people, create entire worlds from our imaginations, and see them being enjoyed by millions of people around the world. And now, after nearly 20 years of work at BioWare, I've made the decision to retire from the studio and make way for the next generation of studio leaders." Again, I'm hitting back at that point. The theme of these, I guess you could say, goodbye letters is they're thinking about the next generation of studio leaders, which I just don't buy that reasoning at all. It's not an easy decision to make, and big changes like this always come with a certain degree of sadness. I will miss being able to work every day with our inspiring developers on the biggest and most exciting projects I can imagine. But I also know that it is a good time for a change for both myself and BioWare. Didn't Casey Hudson have an appearance in Anthem towards the end? So what happens with... Never mind. I mean, Anthem's not getting a sequel. I mean, I don't even know if we're ever going to see Anthem 2.0. I mean, it seems like it's coming out, but we'll see what happens. When I became a studio GM a little over 3 years ago, our goal as a leadership team was to position our people and projects for long-term success. Now, as BioWare celebrates its 25th anniversary, the studio is poised for an exciting new era of amazing games. This year, we've been inspired by the continued community support for ongoing work on Star Wars: The Old Republic and Anthem. A few months ago, we provided a deeper look at the work that's going into the next huge Dragon Age game, and on the N7 day, we announced Mass Effect: The Legendary Edition and gave a hint at what's next to come for the Mass Effect universe. And then later in this statement, Casey Hudson says, "Arriving at this point has been an opportunity for me to reflect my own future, and 2020 has been a year that forced all of us to reimagine how we think about work and life. For me, it's been the realization that I still have tremendous energy to create, but also that I need to try something different. I'm not sure exactly what that is yet, but I know that I want to start by rediscovering my creative passion through more personal work." And then Casey makes a mention to Mark Darrah, who's also leaving or retiring, quote unquote. But Casey does say that Mark, the executive producer for Dragon Age, is also announcing his retirement from the studio today. "We have worked together since the early days of BioWare, and I have valued his contribution immensely, especially in recent years, as a key partner in leading the studio. One of the things that makes these decisions easier is knowing that BioWare will move forward with a strong and complete set of studio leaders." Now though, let's go to Mark Darrah's statement. He says, "I have been at BioWare since the 90s, back when CRPGs were considered a dead genre. Through the last 23 years, I have watched video games evolve and grow into a truly powerful communication medium. We are an important part of so many people's lives, and BioWare has been a part of this journey, certainly. This has been a very difficult decision for me. The team of amazing developers on Dragon Age make my life fuller and better. They have taught me so much, but the strength of this team is also what makes this possible. I know that Dragon Age won't just survive without me, it will thrive. I'm confident that the next Dragon Age will show that we remain committed to this kind of game. We will have a lot to show you. This year has been transformative to the way we do everything, the way we work, the way we socialize. These are things that have changed. Some of these changes are temporary, but others will remain forever. I believe that this gives us an opportunity to bring in new voices, to reimagine how we work, to strengthen how we tell stories." Again, this is just going back to my point that there's a key theme with these letters of saying goodbye, that the next generation of BioWare is coming. Be excited for that, guys, although everything's unproven. We have no idea what to expect, really. Dragon Age will be in good hands. I am confident that together this is the team that can make this Dragon Age the best one yet, although, based on what we've heard the last couple of years, nothing's really been encouraging about this next Dragon Age installment, but we'll touch on that in a second. Matthew Goldman remains the creative director. He has been on Dragon Age since the early days of Dragon Age Origins. Like me, he has been involved in the franchise as as it has changed over the years, he has a deep understanding of what it's been and what it has the potential to be. More than anything, I am thankful for the ability to have touched so many lives, to have given people a chance to explore themselves through our games. I like to think I've helped make some of your lives a little better. I hope I'm right. I don't know what's next for me, but I'm excited to find out, just as I'm excited to find out what Dragon Age now becomes. So, that is today's huge news. Casey Hudson, longtime GM of BioWare, is gone, and Mark Darrah, longtime executive producer, who is actually leading development on Dragon Age 4, are now gone. And they now join a long list of BioWare veterans who have just departed the studio in the last couple of years. And I actually quickly want to show you what I mean by this company is going in the wrong direction, and the fact that so many veterans are leaving is beyond the word concerning, and it's actually becoming a pattern. This is something that we saw with Mass Effect Andromeda. Senior development staff leave mid-development, then the game just doesn't turn out to be as good as what people had hoped. Anthem, again, senior development staff leave mid-development, and that game turns out to be a mess, and now with Dragon Age 4, we've seen multiple key developers depart. I'm not saying the game's in complete chaos yet, but this ain't looking good. So here's just some of the notable staff that have left in the last couple of years. Aaron Flynn, 2017, leaving BioWare, and he had been at the company for 17 years. And then we have Dragon Age creative director Mike Laidlaw, leaves BioWare after 14 years. Mike Laidlaw, of course, has great experience leading writing, development, creative director on Dragon Age, Jade Empire, Mass Effect. Then we have Ben Irving, the lead producer on Anthem, and he also had some work on Star Wars The Old Republic. Remember that he left right after the Cataclysm update for Anthem, and he was the one who was at E3 2019 saying, no, Anthem has a bright future, we're really excited for it, and then just immediately abandoned ship. And actually another person who abandoned ship was Chad Robertson, the head of BioWare's live services. He was the studio director for a while at BioWare Austin, and he also jumped ship right around the same time. And this also isn't going in order, but another BioWare senior editor left in 2016, Cameron Harris. He worked on Star Wars The Old Republic and Mass Effect Andromeda and Dragon Age Inquisition. He was gone at that time in 2016. Then in the middle of Mass Effect Andromeda's development, the director Chris Wynn left BioWare, heading back to the United States. That was a huge departure and a huge red flag at the time. Another huge departure happened for Anthem in October of 2017, in which BioWare lead animator leaves the company after 17 years. And then we have David Gator, former lead writer of Dragon Age. He left BioWare in 2016. Just so many guys, so many. Mass Effect lead writer Drew Karpyshyn left BioWare again in 2018. Dragon Age lead producer Fernando Mello left BioWare in August of 2019. Just, it goes on and on. All of these departures add up. Those are the talent. Those are the people that made BioWare the company that you fell in love with. Now most of them are gone, and we have no expectation or any idea of what's to come. But it is interesting, something to note, that I believe it was in, 2019, in early 2019, when Jason Schreier was still with Kotaku, he had an inside report on what was going on with Dragon Age 4, and even at the time, it did not sound good, and now I'm even more concerned. But this is what Jason Schreier reported at the time. I heard more about the first version of Dragon Age 4, which was rebooted in October of 2017, and the current version, which is now in development at BioWare's office in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. The story behind this reboot isn't just a story of a game going through multiple iterations, as many games do. The Dragon Age 4 overhaul was a sign of BioWare's troubles, and how the company has struggled in recent years to work on multiple projects at the same time. It was indicative of the tension between EA's financial goals and what BioWare fans love about the studio's games. It led to the departure of several key staff, including veteran Dragon Age creative director Mike Laidlaw, and it led to today's Dragon Age 4, whose developers hope to carefully straddle the line between storytelling and the live service that EA has pushed so hard over the past few years. Perhaps the saddest thing about Dragon Age 4's cancellation in 2017 for members of the Dragon Age team was that this time they thought that they were getting it right. This time they had a set of established tools, they had a feasible scope, they had ideas that excited the whole team, and they had leaders who said that they were committed to avoiding the mistakes that they made with Dragon Age Inquisition. But now here we are with yet another huge problem, and that is the departure of another key lead developer on this, probably the guy who was leading the way, Mark Darrah. But now, looking to the future of BioWare, I guess we await news on whoever the new GM will be. That could take some time, but in the immediate future, in early 2021, we're all expecting Anthem 2.0 to come out, and I don't really know if that's going to tell us too much about the future of this company. Anthem 2.0 seems to be very, very focused just on getting the gameplay right and turning it into a proper looter shooter, which hopefully hopefully BioWare does accomplish, but I don't even know if that game actually has a future. Regardless, I think many are very curious about the writing, the characters, the role-playing side of a game like Dragon Age 4. And right now, with the next actual BioWare experience, there's a lot to worry about. Right now, we don't know too much about what Dragon Age 4 will actually be about. Dragon Age 4 has now lost a couple of key developers, including its lead executive producer and lead producer, I believe last year, being Fernando Mello. We talked about that just before. EA has already canceled Dragon Age 4 once, and we know that EA wants to incorporate some sort of games as a service model with it. What that'll look like, we have no idea. Casey Hudson, I believe a couple years ago or a year ago, was trying to kind of, I guess you could say, destroy some of the concerns that people had by saying, no, it's going to be a live service in a different way. But again, we just have no idea what he meant by that, and we don't know what has changed since, especially since now he's, gone. Anyway, to wrap all of this up, just some shocking news, nothing that I had all expected, but this kind of just continues the downward spiral that we've seen BioWare going in what, the last 5 or 6 years. And I know a lot of people have been out there like, I'm really hopeful for a BioWare comeback. They're going to get it right with Dragon Age 4, but I don't think so right now. Nothing is telling me that. We found out just a couple of months ago that Dragon Age 4 is right now in early production. So what Mark Darrah and Casey Hudson are saying about the next Dragon Age game, that they have faith that they're going to get it right, I don't think that they have any idea what it's going to look like, because the game's barely in production, it seems, right now. And it probably won't be releasing until, 2023, 2024, unless, EA destroys the studio and kills it like they've done with so many in the past. But hey, we'll have to see what happens. Right now, just some shocking news, nothing at all that I think any of us could have expected, but no bueno, not good, guys. Casey Hudson returned about 3 years ago to turn this studio around, and now he is gone. Mark Darrah was supposed to be leading the development on the next Dragon Age game, and now he is gone. And I just have to wonder if the reality, the truth is that these guys looked at everything that they have and just said, this isn't worth it. They don't see a comeback happening. You have to remember, they've been here with all the outrage that has happened the last couple of years, everything surrounding Anthem. Mark Darrah, though, has been he's pushed back against some of the criticism they faced with Mass Effect Andromeda. If you remember, he said that he believed that they received a lower critic review score because they launched closer to Horizon Zero Dawn and Breath of the Wild. So that was an interesting theory that he had. Deep down, I don't think that they're being entirely truthful for why they are leaving. If everything was good, they were excited for the future, they'd be staying, they wouldn't be departing. But hey, maybe they just got tired of doing the same thing. But either way, this isn't looking good. Anyway, what do you make of this huge news? What do you make of Casey Hudson, Mark Darrah now leaving BioWare, resigning, retiring? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, but thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy this video or if you found any informative value, and make sure to follow my other social media accounts for updates on new videos. Links are always down in the description below. I'm most active on Twitter, giving opinions on news that I do not always get into video form, so do make sure to follow me over there. Also check out my Discord for all sorts of discussion on games, and again, thank you for joining. Consider subscribing for more videos like this, and I'll see you later.